Hello and welcome to this 4-part video series on how to create your own 9-box matrix using Google's query function. This 4-part series includes the following 4 videos. Video number 1 is the introductory video, the one you are currently watching. Video number 2, we'll have a look at how do we create our own randomized data to practice with. Video 3, we'll have a look at the actual query function. And in video 4, we put all of this knowledge together into one single workbook. In order to follow along, you will need a few things. Firstly, you'll need access to a Google account. Secondly, access to Google Sheets. Thirdly, a bit of data. As I mentioned in video 2, we'll have a look at data. And lastly, a basic understanding of either Excel or Google Sheets formulas. Before we jump into the 9-box matrix or the Google query function, let's quickly have a look at coordinates. You'll see that I've placed coordinates in inverted commas. We are not referring to GPS coordinates. We are technically speaking about variables x, y, but for this course we will call them coordinates. If you have a look at the image on your screen, you will see we have a vertical y-axis and a horizontal x-axis. If you apply the principles of linear regression, you'd be able to calculate the exact coordinates where your y-axis and your x-axis intersect. In this case, x and y would be 2, 2. Over here, x and y would be 1, 1. I know this is a very oversimplified explanation, but it's quite important to understand how to determine these coordinates. When we eventually do our 9-box matrix, we will be assigning coordinates to our data set. In the next slide, you will see why coordinates are so important. This is pretty much the theory or the back end of our 9-box matrix. Now, there are so many different variations of 9-box matrix out there. You can actually just do Google search and see which one works best for you. In this example, we have an x-axis that measures an employee's performance, and we have a y-axis that measures the employee's actual growth potential. For the purpose of our example, our performance score ranges from 1 to 3. 1 being that an employee requires development, 2 that the employee meets the actual criteria of their job, and number 3 they exceed the criteria of their specific job. The potential score on the y-axis refers to the employee's potential to grow to the next level. This does not refer to his potential as a human being, so don't confuse the two. It works on a similar principle to the performance axis, although you won't have necessarily a scorecard to measure the employee's potential. Potential can refer to anything like qualifications, experience, and attitude. In this case, we also have a 3-point scale for potential, which is 1 low potential to grow to the next level, moderate potential, or high potential. As I mentioned earlier, if you Google 9-box matrix, you will see multiple examples of how to develop your own 9-box matrix. This is just a generic example we'll be using throughout the duration of this course. If we delve a little deeper into our 9-box matrix just before we end off this video, we said that our coordinates are always stated as x and y, in this case x and y. If we look at this block as an employee, this means that this employee has exceeded the criteria for their current job, plus they've got very high potential to move to the next level. If we move to the left, we will see that this is x1, y3, meaning this employee still requires some development, but their potential to move to the next level in the future is still quite high. I'm not going to go into much more detail concerning the 9-box matrix at this stage. When we start playing around with our own data, we'll have a deeper look as to how we can populate this information and how it can be useful to you. If in the meantime you want to learn more about how a 9-box matrix can work for you, just do a simple Google search for 9-box matrix. Alternatively, you can pick up a book like The Leadership Pipeline from Stephen Drutter. There's some very good examples of what you can do with each of the individuals in these specific blocks. Right, that brings us to the end of video 1. Please stay tuned for video 2, where we will be creating our own randomized employee data so that we in video 3 can actually apply the principles of the query function itself. I hope you enjoyed this video and I hope it was useful.